up, YouTube? It's your girl Shani, and welcome back to the Women's Palacè. Now, today I want to speak on a topic that I already kind of spoke about, but I want to go further into this. I want to speak on the topic of not coming into alignment or agreement with what is given to you. I always say that you have the power to change the narrative, right? And I say this because this morning I actually had to go to the hospital, and if you've been watching my videos, you know I have been under the weather lately, and this has just been going on a little longer than usual. When I was little, I had bronchitis, and I will always have to go get like breathing treatments, and when I got a little older, they tried to say like asthma, but I kind of grew out of that, but these last couple days it's kind of like flared up, and I've been having a problem with my breathing, with my chest, so I had to go to the hospital, and they tried to say that I have asthma, right? And when they said that, I was like, I'm not coming into alignment with that. I'm not coming into agreement with that. And as I was sitting there, I started to think today on how you come in alignment with certain situations, and I started to think about certain situations that I have heard about in my life with people. They'll have cancer, right? And they'll have been having cancer for years, because when they go, they say, oh, stage 4, right? And then a couple weeks later they die. And I was just like, why is it that everything can be fine, right? But as soon as you find out a certain thing, it seems to get worse. You feel me? Same with pregnancy. You can be pregnant, right, and not know. And then as soon as you find out, then you get the symptoms. I don't know if you can vouch for that, but it's been a lot of times in my life I have heard and even been in a situation where it happened to me, where that scenario has taken place. And God had to reveal to me, it's because people come in agreement or alignment with what was handed to them. You do not have to come into alignment or agreement with a certain situation, because when you do, that is like you accepting it. That's not to say that it's not a fact, but if you reject that, then you are using the power within you to speak death over what is trying to become life over you. This November 4th, right? So I say this because this is how God is making me realize, this is how a lot of people are accepting things, and they're allowing that thing that the enemy, because it's really the enemy only comes to kill, steal, and destroy. So he's out here giving diseases. Now, in the sense, you do put yourself in certain situations where you can actually get these certain diseases, but you have to be able to get to a point in your life where you start to speak against it. If it's not God's will for your life, then you have the power to overcome that. You have the power to speak death over that thing. We have power. We have life and death in the power of our tongue. So just like you can speak life over things, you can speak death over things. So speak death over things that does not align with what God said is for you. That sickness, I reject that. I rebuke that. That is not my story. That may be my testimony, but that's not my story. It may be a fact, but it's not going to be my life, and you got to get to a point in your life where you start realizing, and even on a day-to-day basis, when because people speak death over you, I have been realizing, and it's the little things. We think that's where God is making me realize, see, the enemy want to make a thing seem little so you can just accept it. Oh, you going to be broke if you keep doing, no. The God I serve, giving it shall be given unto you. Don't tell me I'm gonna become broke because I'm giving out. You feel me? You gotta be able to check things. And this is where I'm learning. Do not come into agreement with certain things. Do not allow people to speak into your life. Even if it is a fact, that doesn't mean that is your story. That may just be a testimony. That may be a situation, a trial that God is allowing you to go through, so you can be able to witness to people that God allowed me to overcome it, so he can do the same for you. You feel me? So you got to get to a point in your life where you realize, don't accept everything that's handed to you. Reject, rebuke, bind. You feel me? You have power, but you have to use your power. Don't use your power to come into agreement. Oh, woe is me. I got this, and the doctor then said, and everybody calling. See, one thing I'm realizing, in the Bible, it talks about call the elders to pray over you. Put the oil over you. Don't call everybody in your family member that can't do nothing for you, but go speak word to mouth, putting out all these word curses in the world, And now everybody coming into agreement, and this is why a lot of people are dying. Now, I'm not saying this is the only reason why, but like I said, it is certain scenarios that I have been in, that I have witnessed, that people will go into the hospital, fine, not saying perfect, but fine, and then 2 weeks later they dead because of what the doctor told. Oh, you have cancer, or you have a limb in your, you feel me? And it's like, how that my mind can't even comprehend. How is it that you are okay 1 minute and the next minute you dead? People are coming into alignment with things that the enemy is trying to give them. Do not come in alignment with things that are told to you. Reject things. That's why I say check things at the gate. What are people saying? I don't care if it's a fact. This is where I say you ain't got to be disrespectful. Listen to what people got to say. But guess what? That ain't my story. I rebuke that. I bind that. That's not me. I'm speaking death over that thing, because that thing is going to die. You feel me? Don't come into agreement with that. And just understand that you come in alignment with what the enemy is trying to hand to you. You giving it life. You giving life to death to come into your life and create death over you, instead of using your power to speak death over death. Oh no, you gonna bow to the name of Jesus. Oh no, that's what you gonna do. You feel me? You gotta be able to know your power and not go off of the scene. Oh, did you see the paper? It said this. I don't care what that paper say. What did God say? God has the final say so. And that's just period. Do not come in alignment with things that God said is not your portion. Death is not your portion. Disease is not your portion. That is not your portion. Your portion is life, and life more abundantly. Wholeness. Jesus came. He bore all that stuff on the cross. So what you sitting around, walking around, talking about, I got that for? That ain't your story. Do not come in agreement with that. Do not come in alignment with that and give that power over you. Rebuke the enemy. The devil is a liar. He's definitely a liar. And it does not matter what is seen. You got to have faith to know what God told you is your portion. And do not come in agreement with it. Okay. Yeah, that's why I say let people talk. Yeah, okay. That's not to say be disrespectful. But you got to know that you know that you know. That ain't my portion. So you can go ahead and talk. Say what you got to say. Don't be ignorant. If God puts it, go through chemo, do whatever it is that you got to do. But that ain't me. Just like this asthma stuff. They got me having steroids, all type of stuff. I'm gonna take it. But baby, that's not my portion. That ain't my portion. All of a sudden, I ain't dealt with this in years, and all of a sudden this is popping up. The devil was a liar. But okay, I'm gonna go ahead and use my power. And I feel like this was a certain situation where God is like, okay, let's see if you practice what you preach. You know, because I definitely have to practice what I preach. I come on here talking stuff, and God is like, okay, practice what you preach. I'm going to put you in a certain situation. You feel me? Period. So don't come in alignment with things. Period. So go out and be a light in this dark world.